we saw that water is very important in our lives. And we learned in topic 3 that water is one of the major components of the environment. If you are to consider the environment in which we live in, you find there are water bodies like rivers, lakes, oceans, and so on. So water is one of the major components of the environment. We also say that all living things need water in order to live. For example, we use water for drinking as human beings, cooking, washing, bathing, watering animals, watering plants, and many other uses. Water is very important. We can also use water for transport activities. That's what we discussed in our last lesson. We use water to transport people, to transport goods, and so on. There are many vessels that are used in transportation of goods and people that run on water, like ships, boats, and so on. So water has very many uses. We have some sports that take place in water, like swimming. Swimming is a sport. Some of you do swimming as a hobby, okay? Swimming is done in water, whether it is in a swimming pool or in a river. You can swim in a river, you can swim in a swimming pool. Whether you are swimming in a river or in a swimming pool, you have to have water. So water is very important. In fact, at times we say water is life. You must have heard the saying that water is life. We say water is life because without water we cannot live. Without water plants cannot survive. Without water animals cannot live. So it is for this very reason that we need to conserve water. You've seen water being put to different uses, learners. It's important. Even when I'm teaching, I always have a jug of water with me because I need to drink water occasionally. It's very important. It's very critical. So in our last lesson, that's what we said. Then we also defined water pollution. Water pollution. We said water pollution is the introduction of harmful substances in water. And we say that these harmful substances are known as pollutants. When you introduce harmful substances in water, then we say you are polluting water. Because to pollute is to make something impure by introducing harmful substances to it. So pollutants make water impure, or we say pollutants contaminate water. And contaminated water is not safe for drinking. It can cause diseases to human beings and animals. That's what we discussed in our last lesson. We also said that that pollutants can either be in form of liquids, solids, or gases. Then at the end of the lesson, I gave you an assignment, which I hope you have done. Learners, make sure all assignments are done. If you didn't do that assignment, please go back and do it. Then come and proceed with this lesson where we want to discuss the ways in which water can be contaminated or polluted. So today's lesson, we want to learn how water can be, the ways in which water can be polluted, or I can just say causes of water pollution. Causes of water pollution. That's what we want to learn in our today's lesson. Causes of water pollution. So learners, I want you to write down causes of water pollution. Pollution has double L. Causes of water pollution. These are ways, the different ways in which water can be polluted, or water can be contaminated, or water can be made impure. Okay? Now, learners, there are many different ways in which water can be polluted. And human activities are the main cause of water pollution. Human activities. Human activities are the main. So we want to discuss some of these activities that we as human beings engage in that pollute water, that contaminate water. The first one is human waste. Human waste. A, human waste together with animal waste and animal waste. Now, humans and animals, okay, or you can say human and animal waste. This is human and animal waste, which include feces and urine. These are feces and urine. Human beings and animals release feces and urine as waste. So, these are feces and urine as what we are referring to as human and animal waste. These are the major pollutants of water. The major pollutants of water is human and animal waste, because they contain germs. Feces and urine contain germs. They contain germs that cause diseases. That do what? That cause diseases like cholera. And this we covered in Standard 6 learners. You remember we said cholera is a waterborne disease. So cholera, for example, is caused by germs that are spread through water, which is polluted by human waste. All right? So water which is polluted with human waste can lead to diseases such as cholera. Is that clear, learners? Furthermore, animal waste, that is waste which is polluted, water which is polluted by or with animal waste, okay? Water which is polluted by animal waste is also not safe for domestic use. So, learners, we should never relieve ourselves in any water source. When you feel you want to relieve yourself, that means when you want to release your waste, don't do it in water sources or close to water sources like rivers, lakes, dams, and so on. It's very important, because you must also have observed people who urinate anyhow along the rivers, along the roads. That is not good for water. Animals, likewise, should not be allowed to drink directly from the water sources, because animals can also release waste which can pollute water. So human and animal waste is pollutant. It can cause water to be impure. That is one cause of water pollution. Then there is sewage. Sewage and wastewater. Sewage and waste water. Sewage and waste water is another cause of water pollution. Sewage and wastewater. We sometimes cook. We do laundry. That means washing of clothes. We flush toilets. We shower and do many things using water. And in towns and major cities, all the waste water from various sources combines with other liquid waste to form what we call sewage. If you live in town, you understand what I'm talking about. When you take a bath in your house, in town, when you do your laundry, when you wash your clothes, that water is combined, okay, with other liquid waste to form what we call sewage. And in many places, the sewage is usually channeled into rivers, is channeled into lakes, is channeled into the ocean and other water sources. This practice, learners, is very dangerous because it pollutes the water and can cause deadly diseases. So sewage and wastewater can cause water pollution. Can cause what? Can cause water pollution. So that is another cause of water pollution. That is sewage and wastewater. Wastewater, I hope you understand. When I say wastewater, I've explained it. I've said wastewater is the water that we get after we have done our laundry. When you clean your water, when you clean clothes, you clean once, you pour the water, then you rinse your clothes. The water that you are pouring is what we are referring to as waste water. We clean our houses, we clean our streets, okay? All that water combines into other liquid waste and to form what we are calling sewage. So that when this water is released into rivers, it's released into, it's channeled into lakes, it's channeled into the ocean, then the water sources are polluted. The rivers are polluted with such sewage, with such human waste water. So that's a cause for water pollution. The third point, the third cause, excessive use of farm chemicals. Excessive use of farm chemicals. So the key word here is excessive. When you have excess use of farm chemicals, that is a cause of water pollution. How does it happen? Now, farm chemicals refer to things like pesticides, fertilizers, and so on. Fertilizers are used in the farm, pesticides are used when farming, And these fertilizers and pesticides can cause water pollution. Now, during the rainy season, learners, the chemicals are washed into water bodies. Water bodies are like the lakes, okay? When there is rain and you have put fertilizers and chemicals, that is fertilizers and other chemicals in your farm, when it rains, that water is, that soil which contains the chemicals is taken or is washed into water bodies like lakes and rivers, where such chemicals poisons the fish and other water animals. Do you understand? When excessive farming chemicals are used in the farms, like pesticides and fertilizers, this can cause water pollution. How does that happen? It happens during the rain season, when the chemicals are washed into water bodies like rivers and lakes. And when that happens, the animals in the water bodies are poisoned, because these chemicals are poisonous. So learners, excessive use of farm chemicals can cause water pollution. Then another cause is oil spillage. Oil spillage. Where does this oil come from? Now, this oil may spill from ships that transport oil, because large amounts of oil are transported through the sea using large ships. And these ships may sometimes be involved in accidents, which can result in spilling of oil into the sea. Do you understand? Yes, you do. When ships carry large amounts of oil, there are times when the ships can be engaged in accidents, and as a result, the oil may spill into the sea, thereby causing water pollution. And how does that happen? Learners, the oil forms a thick layer. That oil that spills into the sea forms a thick layer on the water surface because oil does not mix with water. Oil does not dissolve in water. So when it spills in water, then that oil will form a thick layer on top of water. And as a result, when you have a situation where there is a thick layer on top of the water, then that layer prevents marine plants from receiving enough sunlight, because marine plants need sunlight for photosynthesis. And if marine plants do not receive sunlight, which is required for photosynthesis, then the marine plants will eventually die. That is not good. Okay? That's dangerous. That is how water may be polluted, thereby affecting the plants in the sea. So the oil may also, other than causing death to marine plants, the oil may also prevent oxygen from dissolving into the water. And if oxygen is not dissolved into water, that will suffocate the fish and other marine animals, because the animals in in water require oxygen for survival. But where there is a thick layer which does not allow oxygen to flow into the sea, then that will affect the marine animals. So you can see, learners, why we say that it's important to conserve water. Otherwise you can kill fish, we can kill marine plants, and so on. That oil, again, learners, if I may add, can also affect seabirds, because we know seabirds swim in the water. When the seabirds swim in the water, this oil gets stuck in the feathers, get stuck in the feathers, and the seabirds may not be able to fly. And if seabirds are not able to fly, they may eventually die. So, learners, you can see how oil spillage in the sea can affect marine animals, can affect marine plants, can also affect the seabirds. That is oil spillage. Then point number 5. Point number 5. This is E. It's A, B, C, D. E is industrial waste. Industrial wastes. Industrial waste. Industrial wastes. Industrial comes from the word industries, or we are referring to factories. Some factories or industries release waste materials into rivers and other water bodies, especially those industries that are situated near water bodies. So these materials or these wastes contain harmful chemicals together with solid particles which cause water pollution. Do you understand, learners? Industries, not all but some. Some industries release waste materials into rivers and other water bodies. These materials that are released into rivers and other water bodies contain harmful chemicals and solid particles which cause water pollution. Okay? These are harmful chemicals. Harmful chemicals are released into the water bodies. Another point is floods. Floods. How does flooding cause water pollution? How can floods cause water pollution? Learners, as water runs over the ground, because floods occurs when there's a lot of water flowing over the ground. When water runs over the ground, it picks up and carries contaminants or pollutants such as plastic bags, pesticides, fertilizers, human waste, because you have people who don't go to toilet. They do their stuff just on top of the ground. So when there are floods, the floods pick all that material. We are talking of pesticides, human waste, animal waste, plastic bags, fertilizers, and other pollutants. It carries all that and deposits them into water bodies like rivers and lakes. Okay? And that leads to pollution of water in the water bodies. The rivers are then polluted. The rivers will then be contaminated. The rivers will be impure. So that is how floods can cause water pollution. Okay? Floods. I repeat, as water runs over the ground, all right, it picks up and carries contaminants such as fertilizers, such as plastic bags, such as pesticides, such as human waste, such as animal waste, and many other pollutants. And floods, eventually we know, learners, will end up in rivers. Okay, that water will now again end up in lakes and the ocean. So all this waste that is picked on the ground finally finds its way into water bodies, which then leads to water pollution. That is number 6. Then we have another point, acid rain. Acid what? Acid rain. Acid rain. Learners, again, just like some industries which release harmful objects into the water bodies, there are some industries that release large amount of waste in form of gases into the atmosphere. You must have seen some industries that produce smoke, which may contain carbon dioxide or sulfur dioxide. Okay, those are some of the examples of gases that are released by some industries. Carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide. We have carbon dioxide that is released. Carbon dioxide. We have sulfur dioxide that may be released by some industries or factories into the atmosphere. So these gases ultimately dissolve in rainwater. When it rains, the carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide and other gases that are in the atmosphere will dissolve in water, in rainwater, leading to the formation of what we call acid rain. When the rain descends and the gases that are in the atmosphere dissolve in the rain water, we now have what we call acid rain, because that rain has mixed with these gases. And what does that lead to? When you have acid rain, then that acid rain will cause the roofing of houses to be destroyed, okay, or to rust. Acid rain causes rusting of iron sheets or iron roofs. It can also destroy plants by burning their leaves, okay? Because we are talking of acid. When that acid comes down, it burns the leaves of plants. It may also make water bodies acidic, because that rain again finds its way in the. It may also rain in the rivers, in the waters, and so on. So the water bodies are rivers, lakes, and the ocean. When it rains, that acid rain falls in the rivers and waters and ocean, then the water in the water bodies will be acidic. And if that water is acidic, learners, there is also life in the water bodies. We have marine plants, marine animals, we have fish, we have seabirds, and all those animals will be affected. Their lives will be affected. Some of them end up dying because of this acid rain. So the acid rain is a cause of water pollution. Acid rain causes water pollution. So learners, these are 7 causes of water pollution. We've discussed 7 causes of water pollution in our today's lesson. The first one being human and animal waste. B, sewage and wastewater. C, excessive use of farm chemicals. D, oil spillage. E, industrial wastes. F, floods. And lastly, G, acid rain. Acid rain. Learners, I want you to go through the video another time, once more. Make sure you write the points. I did not write all the points, but listen to what I say. Write down the points. Take notes. Take notes. Then after you've taken your notes and you've understood the causes of water pollution, then close your notebook and the video and then do this assignment. This is your assignment. Assignment. At the end of every lesson, we give assignments. I have 3 questions for you today. Number 1, learners, 3 questions. Number 1, briefly explain 5 ways in which water gets polluted. Question 2, state 3 negative effects of oil spills in the seas. Question 3, how does excessive use of farm chemicals pollute the water? Question mark. How does excessive use of farm chemicals pollute water? Question mark. Do the assignment before attending our next lesson. Thank you for being attentive. Learners, you are free to ask questions. Below this video, there is a comment section.